Welcome back to round two with Coach Garrett Patterson on the Coaches Show. We're excited for Coach Patterson to be here. He had a huge win on Friday night. That brings them to 3-1. They beat S&S. We're going to get in that here in a second. But this week they play Lindsay, their first district game here in Collinsville at 7:30 at the Collinsville football field. So please come out and support the Pirates and get involved in the crowd and be as loud as you can. If you can't make the game, North Texas Sports Network is going to video the game and commentate the game, so please log on to their site so that you can at least watch it on video, or like Coach Patterson, I know he wants you there in the crowd being as loud as you can to support the Pirates on Friday night. Coach, I'm going to jump right into it. Something I like, I know you're not in a prediction game, but you had talked about last week, hey, we're going to get better at extra point. We haven't made one. You said your offensive line has to get better. You said that you need to start making big plays. You said your defense needs to improve because they're giving up 27 points a game. All those things came true. So, I mean, that right there is a huge thing as a coach. So, big win on Friday night, on homecoming night. How's it feel to get back into the win column? And on top of that, how's it feel to beat S&S?
Oh, it's definitely better. It's always better on a Saturday morning when you win than lose. There's just a very, very distinct feeling, and you know how it is after you lose. It's just gut-wrenching. And I always tell the kids it takes a part of your soul.
For about 6 days.
Yeah, it's awful. To beat S&S, it's good. It was a good quality opponent, I felt like. The kids did a lot of things that we needed to do, I felt, to prepare us for district play, and so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it was a big win because they haven't given up any points. You scored 28. They only scored 3, so it was a situation where I felt like when I watched the game, Coach, you called a great game. There was a lot of different people that touched the ball. It wasn't just 1 or 2 kids making plays. I mean, I think you distributed the ball to 7 to 9 people. Is that correct? So when a lot of people touch the ball and your game plan is working, it sure does make you feel good. Coach, with the win right before district, going 3-1 in pre-district, does this give us some momentum, you feel like, going into district play?
Oh, I definitely do. You know, you always want to be off of a win going into district play and have that good feeling going into your district opponent. I feel like we're pretty close to ready to play. We'll see how it goes. I mean, you never can tell. Kids are kids, and so it's going to be a good game on Friday night, I feel like. Right.
Preparation week is huge, especially for district play, and that's pretty much what you do all that pre-district for, is to get ready for this particular game. So, Coach, give me, well, let me jump back. Let me go back for a second, Coach. Give me a few standouts that you felt like had Friday night. You know, I know you're a team-based. I mean, it takes everybody on the, not just the players playing, but I know your philosophy is just because you're not in the game doesn't mean you didn't help us win.
Right.
Because practice, you still got to practice. Everybody's involved in the game plan, but give me some standouts, Coach. Give me some people that you thought really stood out on Friday night.
Obviously, Nathan Bocanegra. He went for I think 6 for 126 and a touchdown. Early on, we kind of identified off film that we had a mismatch there, and honestly, we felt like we could exploit it, and they didn't do anything to fix it, and so we just kept feeding him the ball. Once he got hot, he started playing really well. Defensively, I felt like our 2 insides played really well. Being Corey Shepard and Grayson Ward, they played pretty well. And so, all in all, we played probably our most complete game of the year as far as the team goes. But those guys are the ones that stood out.
And they did play well, Coach. I was excited. I know he got a pass interference call down the sideline, and when I was watching, I was like, "Come on, man! That's just fighting for the ball." And I saw you teaching them how to get separation without getting a call. So I mean, that's huge. And I thought your quarterback played well. I thought your offensive line got a lot better, kind of like what you talked about. So love that we were able to kick an extra point. And I know Coach Stewart's going to be excited for only giving up 3 points. I mean, that's a huge deal. So, Coach, before I jump into the next question, tell me about Lindsay. I know, I wouldn't actually call them a rival to us, but however, anytime you're a good football team, you have to look at it as a rival game because it's a big game. So talk to me about Lindsay a little bit.
Defensively, they're a very sound team, very schematically sound. They play very hard on defense also. So, special teams wise, they've got a kid that's a very, very good kicker, and they're very solid on special teams.
Yes, sir. At this point of the season, Coach, you should be peaking pretty soon. I mean, you're not peaking right now. Nobody wants to peak right now.
Right.
But it should be coming soon. Do you feel like we're on pace to do that?
Absolutely. We've cleaned up a lot. And we're starting to understand the nuances of the system offensively and defensively, and starting to play better ball. Technique-wise, we're starting to play better. And those are some of the things that you want to continuously get better at, and not get stuck in, hey, yeah, we got it. When you get that, hey, yeah, we got it attitude, then you start to lose track.
Well, and what I like is when I watch y'all play, last year, earlier in the year, I saw them thinking out there, and now they're reacting. So that means A, good coaching, and B, the kids are bought into the system, so that's huge. Coach, talk to me about your coaching staff. You know, you can't do it by yourself. You know that. I mean, people want to, but it's just impossible to be good and do it by yourself. So talk to me about your coaching staff. How are they adapting to the program, and how do you feel about it?
They do a very good job. You know, I've hired as many quality coaches as far as knowledge goes and experience goes as I can. That's probably my biggest hiring philosophy is to hire knowledge, because, you know, 6 brains are better than 1.
Sure.
And that's my thought process on that. You know, I've hired 2 former ADs, a former head football coach, you know, former DCs, you know, Chad Stone being from Oklahoma, being a former head football coach. Has really helped us, help lighten the load off me. I will say that a whole bunch. You know, Eric Johns, he does our special teams, him being the former AD at Gainesville. That helps me in a lot of aspects of getting a lot of the administrative stuff done that I don't have to take care of, that I can really focus in on the game from there. You know, Coach Nolan, he's just a young pup, but he does a real good job. Year 2 is way better than year 1, and he's continuing to grow, and I think he's going to be a really good coach one day. Coach McAdams does a really good job taking care of a lot of our physical paperwork and making sure that all of our medical supplies and med bags and whatnot are done. And nobody ever hears about that part of the game, but that's a big part.
Huge.
You know, where we don't have to worry about that, whether we have an AED on the sideline or not. And you know, Coach Stewart coming over, being his first year here with us, being a former DC, you can definitely tell the fire's there. This is the first time, I think, him being at such a small school, and so his eyes have kind of been open to the way that things are done at a small school, because it's just different.
Hold on, my guys got to play offense too, Coach?
Yeah, and special teams.
Right.
Yeah, and they have to be the practice squad, when the scout team when we're in practice. I mean, it's just a different world, but they've done a great job for us.
Well, going back to Coach Stone, anytime you hire a guy from Oklahoma, you're doing the right thing, Coach. So, Coach, we appreciate you doing this, taking time to do this. I know your schedule's busy. I want to thank Gabby Butler, who is behind the scenes, being our camerawoman back there, and I want to thank Miss Sasha Young for directing this program, the Coaches Show. Coach, before we move on, I just want to talk about Lindsay one more time. They're coming here Friday. We need the stands packed. It's a big game. We're 3-1 going into district. They're 4-0. Is that correct, Coach? So it's going to be a big-time game. Please pack the stands. If you can't come, please tune in to North Texas Sports Network. The game is at 7:30. And lastly, Coach, talk to me about Lindsay. Talk to me about the game. Whatever you want to discuss. What's your final thoughts?
Yeah, well, anytime you have a team that's 4-0 coming in, that's exciting. They're also ranked, you know, number 4 in the state. That's also an exciting opportunity for our kids to go out and kind of prove what they're worth. I think they're excited about that. You know, the big talk for us is don't beat yourself before the game even starts. You know, just because they have a number beside them doesn't mean anything. You still got to go play ball, and so that's been our big talk this whole week is make sure you're not defeated before you even play the game, and making sure that we're straight attack mode the whole time.
Yeah, because rankings are just from last year, and you know, I mean, how'd they finish? So everybody thinks they're going to be back there, and there's nothing like beating that team that's ranked in the top 5 when you're not ranked at all. So, and the way you guys have been playing, hey, the opportunity's right in front of them.
Yeah.
You just need to take care of business.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in to the Coaches Show. This has been a real fun time for Coach Patterson and I to do stuff like this. So please tune in on the Collinsville High School YouTube channel. Please come to the game Friday night here at Collinsville versus Lindsay Knights. And we appreciate Miss Gabby Butler, and we appreciate Miss Sasha Young for directing this program. Thanks for tuning in.